Everybody, this is Perch. I know there's a lot of newer people here at the channel from a bunch of different sources, actually. I think a bunch of very different kind of audiences, actually, all coming together, too. So I've gotten the question a lot lately about, hey, what's kind of the theme, what drives, and everything else. And the best way to describe it is back when Jeff Thorne and Joe Corallo were on a Friday stream. And we were live, and we described it as it was like talking in a comic shop. If it was up to me, that'd be like every video would be that. I like the collaborations. I'm terrible about scheduling them, but I like that's how this is. It's like these are kind of topics that you think about in the comic shop. The only broken part of it is that most of the time it's just one way. It's me talking, but that's kind of the gimmick here. So it's hopefully just comic talk, nothing too crazy. But what what's interesting is that for me is that I find I like the emotion of the comic to be in the comic. I for years now I've been going to comic conventions and everything else, and invariably every single convention there's some drama. The drama is like one creator's mad at another creator, and there's some like a spat in a bar, or there's an older creator is angry at a younger creator. There's some drama that's playing out every time. There's something like an editor has been ducking a creator who wants to get in touch with the editor, and then it erupts at the table. It's just like there's always something. And usually, sometimes it gets picked up on the comic news sites, but often not, because the weird part is a lot of the comic news people, the people who are making content for comic news sites, or fans or podcasters, they are there to enjoy the show. They're there as fans. They're there to get some signatures or whatever else. They're certainly excited if they run into a creator they like in a nearby hotel or a bar or something. But generally, they're there for the show. And so, or they're there to try and get jobs inside the industry. So they're kind of in the mindset of not getting into the drama. The drama typically happens just within the creator set or within the people who are actually working in comics. And I think there's also some creators who lean into that and some who definitely lean away from it. I have talked to some creators who are like, I have no idea this is going on. I show up, I meet some people, I sell some art, I do some commissions, I go back to the hotel, and then I go home. And that's that's my show. What do you mean there? What do you mean somebody was screaming at another person in a bar? Like it's just. And by the way, this maybe is I don't know, the just general rule of thumb from what I have seen and experienced. The artists, the people who are doing the art, tend to get into a lot less shenanigans as the writers and the editors and the other people. And I think there's a business reason behind this. There's a practical reason. That practical reason is the artist has additional money making opportunities at the con. They get to do commissions, or there's various things that they can make some money. And so typically, they're not going to go out after the con and get so hammered they can't draw, and then then they lose out on that money, right? It's like that there's a business reason behind all this. Whereas the writers, it's not like you're going to go back to the hotel room and like write a short story for a fan as a commission. Although maybe they should try. I don't know. Anyway, so I bring all this up because when there's not a convention, when we're just in kind of normal comic life, and it's been increasing ever more and more, there's this desire for a lot of drama, a lot of angst, a lot of social media shenanigans and hijinks and all those kinds of old man words. There's YouTube videos talking about it, everything else, and it seems like there's a lot of activity that has very little to do inside the comic. It's all about kind of the surrounding stuff with comics. And then the world has flipped. The creators are often like, I don't get into that drama. What's going on? I refuse. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not. There's certainly a lot of silliness goes on in Facebook groups and other places. But I find it odd that when push comes to shove and the fans, customers go to a convention and they're there to, they paid some money and they're there to kind of enjoy the atmosphere, they tend to do it. They tend to get immersed by that atmosphere, and they tend to have a good time, stick to business, find that back issue, get a drawing, whatever it happens to be. And it's the people more in the business that are getting up to silliness. But when the convention is over, it flips. And the fans, the customers, are suddenly the ones who are more enamored by the outside stuff, and it's the creators who are busy trying to get out comics or doing whatever they do. That's not a completely fair way of saying it, because again, we've talked about it many times before. There's lots of behavior that goes on social media and other lots of time wasting from creators too. I guess so. Maybe my whole analogy kind of falls apart in that area. But my point is, why is it that the comics themselves, which can tell any story, any environment, any kind of space or superhero or horror or western, whatever it happens to be, those pages should have all the drama, excitement, stuff to talk about in the world. We just went through Craven's Last Hunt, and that was a completely immersive, lots of thoughts. Long after I was done recording that retrospective, I was sitting upstairs and my mind was still on some of those panels and some of that story and how powerful it was in different areas. And I just was really thinking about it. It was a story that transported me. And then I was thinking about, the video I put up, whenever this video actually gets done, where Josh Williamson is talking about his plans for Infinite Frontier and the new DC, and he's clearly very excited. And he's got all these passionate, ideas and concepts. Yet that isn't connecting with the audience. In a lot of cases, the content of the comics are not inflaming the imaginations and the excitement of the fans as much as Twitter drama or hot takes or other silliness is. And how did we get to a place where what Mitch Gerards thinks about a Trump follower is more entertaining for the day than the actual content of, say, Strange Adventures? That Strange Adventures as a comic cannot compete to what this creator over here is saying about a Donny Cates book, and then some people get mad at him, and Bleeding Cool does an article and everything. I mean, it's like how it's going to some of these sites, these news sites, and we see comic creators respond to the GameStop stock, controversy and story. And it's like, I mean, yesterday was New Comics Day, right? Wednesday was 30 comics from, the bigger publishers, Image and Marvel, and close to 100 if you count everybody. And we're talking about, we want to know what the creators think about GameStop. I mean, that's weird, isn't it? And that's the article that's trending. That's the article that's getting the hits. That's the one that people are being pulled into. And I don't know, is this just the attention span is so short? Is it that comics have so lost, the current fan base, that they're more entertained by what, meme stocks are than, the fact that over in Wolverine, they're auctioning off his arm? There's something in there that where the hot takes and the drama and the kind of immediate desire to want to get all wrapped up in that is more exciting and more, a bigger priority for people than what's actually going on in the comic. And I think this is not me saying comics suck and this is why comics suck. I'm not saying that at all. I was entertained by lots of comics. I was entertained by Post Americana #2 out yesterday, and many others. I was entertained by seeing Brett Booth show up on X-Men and do something cool over there that felt like a really nice little story. Why is it that those moments are not powerful enough to capture the attention and the energy of the community? I'm seriously asking. I don't think it's as simple as, the comics suck now. No, I think that it feels like that everybody's been trained into this method of we got to lean into the most dramatic hot take of the day, as opposed to what's going on in the bigger in the product that we're supposed to be enjoying. I don't know. I'm troubled by it. I pulled together a bunch of different threads here. Maybe they all make sense. Maybe they don't. I don't know. It's a half baked idea. I just I see this stuff. I do see when a convention, the fans and the customers seem to get wrapped up in the convention, the excitement around that whole environment. And I wonder why we can't have that same excitement and environment, you know, be part of the regular monthly comic reading experience. Feels like we should be able to, right? Feels like we should. I don't know. This is just, guys, like I said, a half baked idea. I'm increasingly stuck. You've heard me now for a couple videos. I'm stuck because it feels like that these pieces just aren't adding up. They're not coming together. They're not. It just it's I'm a person who likes to take a bunch of data points and say, aha, here's the picture. Here's the rational conversation we can have about this. Here's how it all lines up. Here's what history shows us, and this is how it all works out. And increasingly in comics, I'm having trouble doing that. I'm doing it with the numbers. I can pull some, the numbers are my saving grace right now. I can pull some kind of picture out of that. But the kind of the environment, the behavior, and the and kind of what's attracting attention right now seems really broken. And where to begin? Anyway, what do you think? Garbage? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. All the information to get in touch with me is in the description. And thanks for listening.